Hello there, my name is MacHorse, and welcome to another episode of Blockbuster Tips. In this video, I'll show how to animate eyes, again, but this time using the new Eyes Rig 3.0. If you're using the old rig, you might ask, why should I switch? Here are a couple of reasons. 1. This rig has more preset poses. We're talking about many different emotions, eye positions, and etc., which can simplify configuration of face expression. 2. This rig features upper and lower eyelids for both eyes, meaning you can have more variety for face expressions. 3. Each eye can have separate texture, as opposed to the 2.0 version where left and right eyes had to have same color or texture. And 4. The issue with eyes flickering from afar is partially fixed. As you can see, this eye rig is much better, feature-wise, but it's also a bit harder to use, thus I made this tutorial. Before we'll get started, I'm going to use Blockbuster 2.1.1 and its dependencies, GIMP for skin editing, and Aperture 1.5. So, let's get started. First thing you need to do, obviously, is to install the Eyes Rig. Go to description and download the Eyes Rig 3.0 from there. Unzip it and install Eyes Rig model by dragging the folder from the zip file to Blockbuster's models folder. Now that the Eye Rig is installed, we need to place it onto the model. It can be done very easily by placing it onto the model using body part system. However, we have a problem here. Due to the way this rig works, it's embedded inside of the head, rather than on the edge of the face like previous rigs. That's why I provided eye masks with the Eye Rig. Those textures allow you, in combination with multi-skin, to erase parts of the skin, without having to do it manually. Let's start by going to Skin Picker and entering the multi-skin mode. The default model doesn't have any skins per se, so I need to specify the skin manually. Once we're in the multi-skin, add another multi-skin, and pick the appropriate mask for the skin. Here I have Alex skin, so I need to pick a mask that has left eye 1 pixel in height, and right eye 2 pixels in height. Once it's selected, enter the multi-skin editor, and enable erase option. For the mask multi-skin, what it does is allow you to use a skin with opaque pixels as eraser for pixels underneath. Once we exit the texture picker, we'll see that there are eye holes instead of eyes. Now we can see the Eyes Rig properly as well. However, it's still not perfect. There is some empty space on horizontal inner sides of the eye holes, from which you can see the sides of the head. This can be easily fixed by creating a new, or editing a, 3D model variant, and enabling 3D option on the head. This will cover these inner sides with skins bits. Now it works, yay. If your skin has a different position of the eyes, you can easily fix that as well. Go back to the eye mask, and move it either by dragging it down, or by adjusting the texture shift. Then go to Body Parts panel, and change the position of the Eyes Rig as well. Obviously, you would want to use this Eye Rig with a custom skin, instead of Steve and Alex, so here is the layout of the Eyes Rig skin. First, we need to open the skin we want to make the eyes for, and a default skin that came with the Eye Rig. Once both skins are opened, copy the eye area from the skin to the eye skin, and now we can start painting process. The eye skin is divided into two sections. The left eye section is on the left, and the right eye section is on the right. The most top element is eye's pupil, the second element is sclera, the white part of the eye. The next two are related to eyebrows. The top is an eyebrow, and the bottom is an eyelash, or I would call it a feminine extension to the eyebrow. And finally at the very bottom you have top and bottom eyelids. Before painting, I would like you to take a look at these colored squares. These squares show the texture layout of individual limbs. Blue and purple represent front and back sides of the limb. Red and yellow represent left and right sides of the limb, and finally green and cyan represent top and bottom sides of the limb, respectively. Now let's paint it. Just watch how I do it, and try repeating this. Here, I basically take specific pixels from the skin, and place them onto the eye skin. Once you're done, you can save the skin under a new name. I'll give the same name as the main skin. However, before switching to a different skin, you might want to remove eyelashes and eyebrows from the player skin. Just grab neighbor pixels, and place them on top of eyebrows and eyelashes. While at it, if you're not comfortable with using eye masks and multi-skin, you can also cut eyes to create eye holes. And before we get into animating, yes, you can use HD skins with this eyes rig as well. Just scale the skin, and paste the HD pupil, or any other elements like HD eyebrow, on top of the skin. Now that the eyes rig works with the skin, we can create a basic blinking animation morph. Sequencer morph can be used for that. Edit a blank sequencer morph, and remove everything. Now add a sequence, and pick the eyes rig with desired skin, enable animates, and go back to sequencer morph. Now, duplicate the first sequence, edit the morph, and change the pose to closed. This way we get a really basic blinking animation. That came out pretty basic, isn't it? Let's improve it by adding a couple of details. First, the eye movement is too linear. Let's change the interpolation of both eyes rigs sequences to use exponential in and out interpolation. That looks somewhat better, but still not organic enough. Let's add a little delay. Select the opened eyes sequence, disable set duration option, and change the duration from 10 to 30, and input 10 into random. This will make eyes blink more organically, due to added randomized delay. That's my simple setup. Play around with sequencer morph and eyes morph options. You could try out different interpolations and timing, or even add more eyes stages to your blinking sequencer. Regardless of options, now you have a character with animated eyes. And finally, let me quickly show you how to add eyes animation to a scene that are not necessarily repetitive like blinking animation, and has to happen at certain time. So, let's say I have a scene with a player model, and it has a sequencer morph with eyes as a body part, that is player model with blinking eyes. Now, edit the camera, and create a new camera profile. Add an idle fixture, open the player recordings list, select the player recording, and finally open the player recording editor. Here we can add morph actions to add different eyes animations at given time. However, instead of body part sequencer, we need to use just the eyes model. Let's add a couple of these. So yeah, something like that. Now we have a scene with animated eyes using Eyes Rig 3.0. That's pretty much it. I admit that I was very brief on most of these sections. You would understand it if you had to explain same thing over and over again, haha. However, there are multiple info cards linking to dedicated tutorials in the top right corner throughout the video. Make sure to check out these in case you missed. Hopefully this tutorial taught you how to animate eyes with the new Eyes Rig, giving your characters more possibilities for face expressions. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.